In the nation's seat of power, just a few miles from the White House and Capitol, a milestone for voting rights in America.
I noticed that, wait a minute, not only can we vote, we can also run for the office.
How many in the group this morning want to learn about investing?
After 27 years behind bars, Joel Caston is seeking redemption through politics. The 44-year-old felon, convicted for murder as a teenager, became Washington, D.C.'s newest elected public servant this summer, winning a groundbreaking campaign for neighborhood commissioner on the city's southeast side.
It sounds great to have an official title, I must admit that. However, what it feels like is that now I have to deliver.
From an office behind bars, Caston will serve as an advisor to D.C. government and offer recommendations for improving city services.
Had you ever voted before?
I never voted before.
So you were running for office and you had never even participated in the democratic process before.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't it amazing and how you can say, I want to be a part of something, but because the laws have prevented you, these barriers in place, and now these barriers are removed. So what we're doing here in D.C., we're actually setting a standard for the nation.
Some of his roughly 2,000 constituents are fellow incarcerated residents in D.C. jail.
How many of y'all voted?
Many casting ballots in a local election that has pushed the boundaries of voting rights and racial justice. D.C. last year joined just Maine and Vermont as the only places in America that prisoners can vote.
When I actually put a check in that box and actually saying that he won and this is the person I voted for, it like reaffirmed that, I'm worthy to be back into society.
Less than 1% of the nation's estimated 1.8 million incarcerated residents has the right to cast a ballot from behind bars, setting the U.S. apart from many other democracies.
In other words, in most places, you don't lose your humanity, you don't lose your civil rights, social rights, political rights when you're incarcerated.
Georgetown professor Mark Howard, a leading advocate for felon voting rights, says it's also an issue of racial justice. 1 in 16 black American adults is disenfranchised because of a conviction, a rate 3.7 times higher than among non-blacks.
If you think about the broader context and history of the struggle for the right to vote in this country, incarcerated people was always a group that was left out of that progression.
He's now the first incarcerated American elected to office with votes from incarcerated peers.
How can you represent a group of people, a community, when you're cut off from a big segment of that community?
A lot of meetings, a lot of engagement has taken place over Zoom. So now as an ANC commissioner, one of the things I do have access to is a computer.
So you're Zooming from inside this cell block?
I'm Zooming from the inside.
You have an office inside
I'm inside the office.
Block.
Yes, I do, yes.
His district includes D.C.'s jail, a nearby women's shelter, and this luxury apartment complex he's never seen.
You oversee everything from liquor license approvals to sidewalk repair to public safety. Can you credibly advocate for public safety from in here?
I can. I believe that my story, my campaign, is giving lens to individuals who may not have considered this as being a viable option to obtain public safety.
But enfranchisement of felons remains highly controversial.
It's called punishment for their crime.
Many Republicans opposed House Democrats' sweeping election reform bill, H.R. 1, this spring, in part because it would have restored the vote to millions of ex-felons. While 21 states automatically return voting rights after release, 16 withhold the vote through periods of probation or parole, and 11 more suspend the vote indefinitely for some crimes.
Oftentimes, we would just cast off individuals who are inside of carceral spaces and think that he or she does not have a value. I believe that my story demonstrates that, yes, we do have value.
In 1994, it was here in Southeast D.C. that as a teenager swept up in a culture of drugs and guns, Caston was arrested and later convicted in the shooting death of another young black man.
As a teenager, I was once a drug dealer myself. I was once a gunman myself as a teenager, and I paid a huge penalty for that. That's my incarceration.
The family of the victim in Caston's case has given its full endorsement in a statement to ABC News saying, "We believe in forgiveness and we hope Joel will do good work in the community." Caston expects to be paroled by the end of the year.
Joel Caston has probably more than any person in the country that I've heard of. He has the right to redeem himself and to have another chance.
Commissioner Caston already inspiring hope that his constituents can find redemption too.
Serving an 18-month sentence, and the thing I would like for Joel to do is continue to make the impossible possible.
Because it helps young men to become better people.
He's inspired that we're more than inmates. You know, we are fathers, we're sons, we're brothers, and also we're politicians. Thank you, Joel.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.